Hi everyone, I just got off MSP Radio Waves station on Discord and I wanted to come on and just kind of repeat what I had said on the station. I also talked about this on the VOTU podcast last weekend. Right now the biggest issue with Steam is user retention and onboarding new users. And it's really obvious to me why. I mean, when you have people paying for upvotes and delegation, and then obviously you're going to get a lot of shit posts, you're going to get a lot of spam, you're going to get a lot of jealousy over post rewards. And when you have people downvoting those then after they've paid for them, well, that screams scam. And policing the system through downvotes, the only thing you can downvote are the people using the service. So you're punishing the minnow who bought the upvote from another minnow who rents the delegation off a whale. The whale still gets the money, but basically the users, and they may not be content creators, but they're still coming to make money. Everybody comes to Steam to make money. Like, that's what's realistic. People don't want to watch a social media network of other people making money. Really, if you're not a content creator, you want to be making money from curating. So charging for upvotes and delegation is actually encouraging minnows to treat the system this way because they don't have the same incentives as a whale to make this network attractive to potential investors or new users. You can't change a minnow's mind about spending upvotes or delegation on their own shitpost. If that's the best thing that whales have to offer, that's what they're going to go for. And nobody can blame them for that. We don't have the incentive to do otherwise. And you can't prevent another whale from offering that service. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the services they're offering. I do think that they're damaging the network. But you're not going to stop that from happening unless you can offer something better. And so here's my solution for all the free market lovers out there. Compete on price. So that's two things you have to compete with. The sale of delegations and the sale of automated upvotes. Right now, the price of delegation is ridiculously high. Minnow Booster and block trades charge like 9 times what I pay for delegation, and I break even on curation rewards. You can either sell at cheaper rates, or what would be better is if you employ minnows and don't charge them, just let them keep the curation rewards as payment for curating responsibly. You could actually employ a handful of minnows without paying them any Steam by delegating to them and just monitoring the way that they vote. And you don't have to check every post that they vote. All you have to do is check steamreports.com to see how widely they're spreading their vote. And you can set other rules. You can set rules for what type of content that they're allowed to vote on or not allowed to vote on. Like, you're the employer. You get to decide. I mean, imagine if all the Steam power of the major stakeholders was spread across the network. It doesn't have to be all the users, but the best curators would make the network so much better because they would reward the really good content creators. There would just be so many eyes on the content on the platform that we could actually retain users that way. We could actually attract users to the platform and retain users to the platform because so many people would be making money. These curators up the price of Steam by making this an attractive place for investors to come. And curators should get paid for that. And the retention of users is what gets people to start buying Steam. People who have been here so long and have been on this great ride and have no doubts about the future of the platform. The current system is giving everybody doubts because the trending page is full of advertising. And this is not what people buy Steam Power for. Some people do, but it's the wrong reasons. This idea that the demand for Steam comes from getting yourself to the trending page. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they would not be what it is now if it was all about liking your own post, your own video, your own photo. It's not. It's the reason they're as valuable as they are is because it's a social network. It's about socializing. Right? You don't go to YouTube to look at advertising. You don't go to Facebook to look at advertising. You don't go to Instagram to look at advertising. But after like 10 years, when those networks basically dominated the internet, that's when they sort of became like that. Because they had enough, they basically had the world, and that's when they turned like that, and that's when they started losing users. We're doing that in the very early stages of STEEMit. As for selling upvotes, this is another thing that's going to be tough to compete with. What I would suggest is, alternatively to selling auto upvotes, we sell our attention instead. And this is something that should be available to everybody. So we might need STEEMit Inc.'s help with this. I would ask that STEEMit Inc. turn off notifications for transfers to the wallets. And they can either implement this feature, or we can just let other developers with their applications, stuff like Steam Watch, whatever application you use for your notifications from Steam, let them develop the feature that basically allows you to decide the price of your attention. So you don't get a notification of a transfer to your wallet unless it exceeds the price of your attention, whether that be $1 or $10 or $50. You don't get a notification of a transfer to your wallet unless it's a minimum amount. And that would mean that, like an advertisement in your wallet, you can look at the post and see if it's worth the money, but you don't have to. They're paying for your attention, not for your upvote. And that would mean that still the quality posts get to the top. And who knows, maybe if the option was there, maybe those whales wouldn't automate the votes. Maybe they'd put their price up. Maybe they would decide if they can put a minimum fee on their attention, then instead of automatically upvoting loads and loads of posts and draining their voting power, they can just upvote the couple of posts that they got that day and they made $100 out of it. You know, if that option was there, maybe they would put their price up high enough that it wouldn't affect the network as badly. As for whales policing the system, the tools and the incentives are already there. They don't need added incentive. If you're invested in Steam and you have 500,000 SP, you basically gain $5,000 every time the price of Steam goes up by a cent. So if you really believe that what you're doing to police the system is going to benefit the Steam network, you don't need the added incentive. If you do think you need the added incentive, then maybe what you're doing is actually questionable and you're not actually sure if it's going to be worthwhile or not. That's basically what I wanted to say before I go out and get myself some meth.